Yeah, they've got long memories around these parts, and you know, that infamous season when on the last day of the season Carlos Tevez scored for West Ham against Manchester United, who were champions at the time. It meant that West Ham stayed up. They then found out later on that the way the deal had been done to bring Tevez and Mascherano to West Ham had not been as it should have been. Third party ownership, all that kind of stuff. But instead of a points deduction, West Ham were given a fine. I think it was £5.5 million. Now the difference between a £5.5 million fine and actually the point deduction that would have seen West Ham relegated, well, I mean that's complete worlds apart. We know that in the modern sense of money in football. But the team that did go down because of that was Sheffield United. Because of that, Sheffield United fans, I wonder if there's still a few of the original Tevez masks from all those years ago, or maybe they've had a few new ones made up. But they brought them to the London Stadium in October when these sides played out a 1-1 draw earlier on this season. And tonight they've been brought out again. West Ham in town, very much a different generation though in terms of the playing staff, the management of both clubs. And for Chris Wilder, big news today, new contract, 4.5-year contract. They don't want him going anywhere, Rob Gray.
No, he's a Sheffield man, he's a Sheffield United fan, and realistically it's just rewards for a fantastic achievement so far, taking them from League One, 2 promotions, and you know, to get to potentially 5th in the league in January is an unbelievable achievement.
If you include his previous job at Northampton, Chris Wilder's had 3 promotions in 4 seasons. A manager who in the summer had actually been linked with moving away from Sheffield United and going elsewhere, and boy aren't they happy they've been able to hold on to him here, and how this team, which doesn't really have any superstars, and yet win tonight against West Ham, and Sheffield United will move back into the top 5 in the Premier League. And you look at the relative budgets available to Chris Wilder compared to the other managers up in those higher echelons of the table, and it tells you what a good job he's done. Bramall Lane looks great under the Friday night lights. They know a thing or two about nighttime games around these parts. Bramall Lane was the first stadium to ever host a floodlit match. This place absolutely steeped in history. The oldest professional football stadium in the world that still hosts games. They've done it all here, of course. They've had an FA Cup final here in the past. There was even an England cricket test match at Bramall Lane. And this season, the big time is back and the Premier League football is back. And so far, Sheffield United fans have thoroughly enjoyed themselves. I mean, it's been a dizzy rise as we get underway here. They have come straight up from League One to the Premier League in such a short space of time. And not only have they managed to keep their heads above water, they're actually flourishing, are Sheffield United, and so much of that to do with Chris Wilder keeping a consistent team. He hardly ever makes changes. One change tonight, Ollie McBurney starting up front with Elise Mousset on the bench as the ball goes out of play, and a throw into West Ham in a left full back position for them. Right, things are settling down. Robert Grizzly trying to work out if West Ham are going to play with this flat back 4. Will Masuaku push up into midfield? Difficult to tell at the moment the way that they're lining up, but a throw in, and Cresswell will take it down with a corner flag left hand side. West Ham, who are wearing their change strip navy blue, Sheffield United in their traditional red and white stripes and the dark shorts as Chris Basham scoops it forward, and then it goes out of play again.
Yeah, quiet start really. I think West Ham will be happy with the start, looking just to quieten the crowd. It can be a really intimidating atmosphere at Bramall Lane. I played in that season and with Carlos Tevez here, and it was a fascinating game, and one that we lost in. But what an atmosphere it was that day.
What was it like when you heard that Tevez and Mascherano, who at the time were the 2 of the most exciting young players in South America, and there'd be no build up to this. I mean, there weren't rumours this was going to happen. It was just suddenly boom, there were West Ham players.
Yeah, I signed a few days before, so I was getting used to it myself, and then all of a sudden superstars were arriving.
The first of the 3 superstar signings. Robert Gray with us on 5 Live tonight as Masuaku picks it up out on the left hand side. Left to right, they're playing West Ham, the visitors tonight. 3 changes for David Moyes for his second Premier League game back as West Ham coach. Masuaku's continued this dribble, getting closer and closer to the edge of the Sheffield United penalty area, and then he's challenged and the ball goes out of play again, and it's a throw into West Ham. They also played in the FA Cup against Gillingham on Sunday, so it's 2 games, 2 wins, 6 goals scored since David Moyes is back, none conceded yet. And a West Ham defence which had looked so leaky in the latter stages of Pellegrini's reign, as Cresswell's throw in for Lanzini there, and the ball put back out of play again. Another throw into West Ham, and Sheffield United yet to have a sort of run of passes in the game so far, which is probably what David Moyes will want. Unsettle Sheffield United here at Bramall Lane, if at all possible.
Slow it down, break it down. Low energy game. Let's not get it drawn into a high energy, high tempo game that Sheffield United like, because we said just before kick-off that realistically they won't be able to compete with that for 90 minutes.
Sheffield United 0, West Ham 0. 5 live from the BBC on this Friday night at Bramall Lane. And you're right about, you don't want it to be a spectacular game when you play against Sheffield United. I was at Anfield last week, and I interviewed Jurgen Klopp after Liverpool had beaten them 2-0. And he said, no one else had done that. He was really proud of the Liverpool performance because no one else had muted them the way Liverpool did last week. And he said, when you play Sheffield United, you don't want it to be an exciting game. If it's exciting, they've got a really good chance of getting the better of you.
Well, for the prospects of tonight's game, let's hope in an exciting one. But I think you, as an opponent manager, it just shows how far that Sheffield United have come. That they're getting the respect like that, and West Ham in the opening moments here are looking to do the similar thing.
Right, here we go. An attack down the left-hand side. David McGoldrick, though, is offside. We've had a succession of throw-ins in the opening 3 minutes of this game. Not much to report. McGoldrick, who, he's got this strange record this season where he's had more shots in the Premier League without scoring than any other player. It's kind of getting serious now. He's had 35 shots without scoring. If he takes 3 more without scoring, it'll set a new record, not this season, in the Premier League era. No one's had that many shots at goal without at least one of them hitting the back of the net, and I'm sure he must be getting frustrated. It says an awful lot about what else he does on the pitch that he's still in, as Lanzini tries to break into the penalty area. Dean Henderson comes right out to the edge of the box. John Egan scooped it away in the air, and in any event the referee has blown the whistle. There was a push down there, I think, by Lanzini, and it'll be a free kick to Sheffield United, but that was a little nervous moment at the back for them. Free kick on the edge of the penalty area. Robert, give us the goalkeeper's assessment of Dean Henderson. Only Kasper Schmeichel has had more Premier League clean sheets this season than young Dean Henderson. He's only 22.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. I think he embodies what Sheffield United are about. He's found the right person as well as the right player, and someone who wants to learn, someone who's confident and really wants to improve. And he won one promotion last season with the club, and rather than going out and getting a big name, getting someone who's been there and done it, they stuck with him, stuck with someone they knew, and stuck with someone that they could rely on. And he's rewarded them so far. I think the only disappointing one was against Liverpool in first game in front of the TV cameras, and made an awful mistake in a 1-0 defeat, which as a keeper makes it worse because it's the goal that costs you. So other than that, he's been fantastic this season, along with the whole team.
5 minutes played. Sheffield United 0, West Ham 0. Scrappy game so far as they both settled down. There was a foul on Sebastian Haller there inside the centre circle by John Egan. Sebastian Haller, who scored against Bournemouth on New Year's Day, he's hit the post against Gillingham in the FA Cup on Sunday. Looks to be a good striker if they can get him the service. 6 goals for West Ham so far. Throw in here for Sheffield United on the far side from us. Chris Basham, who's started every Premier League game so far this season. He takes the throw in with the yellow boots, gets it back from Ollie Norwood, and cleared away by John Egan, high and searching, and up over the halfway line where McBurney wins it in the air. Good cushioned header down for McGoldrick, who rolls it out to Jack O'Connell here, and he's away on one of these overlapping runs that he loves to make from central defence. That's a trip by Felipe Anderson on Stevens. Free kick to Sheffield United inside the West Ham half. Still 0-0 here.
Lazy defending from Anderson, wasn't it? He just watched Stevens take a touch past him, and rather than track back, just decided, I'm going to trip you up. And they'll take a quick free kick and break.
Yeah, they take it, and it's crossed by Fleck, and it comes off Zabaleta, and that's the first quarter of the game. Quarter to Sheffield United on the left-hand side. Felipe Anderson is an enigma, isn't he? I mean, once or twice I've seen him, and he looks brilliant. And then so many other times you'll see him, and there's nothing of note.
Managers, fans, it's so frustrating. Other players, everybody. You see, turn around and say, why can't you do that every week?
Right, corner, which Norwood has come across to take. Left-hand side as Sheffield United are attacking, punched away by Fabianski. Good goalkeeping, punching it away from McGoldrick, who was standing directly in front of him. comes back for George Baldock on the halfway line. West Ham are pinned back in a little bit here, so Sheffield United quickly break into their half once again. McGoldrick rides the challenge of Felipe Anderson. Good work though by Haller to take it off him. Chance for West Ham to counter-attack here. Haller gets it back from Lanzini. Sheffield United working really hard though. 3 players got back and it's Lundstrom who wins the ball, and any chance of a West Ham counter-attack is immediately snuffed out.
Yeah, Masuaku was in an acre of space on the left-hand side, and Lanzini and Haller had the chances, but just through sheer hard work of the Sheffield United players snubbed out the threat.
The game beginning to warm up here. Good pass by Stevens, but McGoldrick hadn't anticipated it. Mark Noble takes it down on the chest, but he's going to lose possession here inside his own half. 1-2 play between Stevens and Fleck. Fleck to the edge of the penalty area, hangs it across towards the back post. It was just in front of Lundstrom, who keeps it alive by playing it back to Baldock. Sheffield United remain on the attack. Baldock around Masuaku, hangs in across, looking for McGoldrick, headed away by Balbuena, and still they come again, Sheffield United. End of Stevens, 10 yards outside the penalty area on the left hand side to Fleck, who steadies himself, sends in the cross. Masuaku jumps and wins the header inside the West Ham penalty area, and Lanzini with a good accurate clearance gives it over the halfway line to Haller, and the game after that slow congested start is now really beginning to flow. 0-0 on 5 Live.
Yeah, centre halves pushing forward there, overlapping. You know, they left a 1v1 at the back there, Sheffield United, but they had the confidence in the centre halves. Well, we're going to go and join and we're going to play, and they play with such pace and such audacity, and then West Ham get the ball and it immediately slows down into a more sedate and controlled play.
West Ham have it, Creswell over the halfway line, and then it's sent back into West Ham territory where McBurney wins the header in the air. Rice is beaten to the ball by Lundstrom. Masuaku picks up loose possession and gives it infield to Lanzini. This is on the halfway line with West Ham in their change strip of Old Navy. Mark Noble, who was rested for the FA Cup last weekend, wasn't even on the bench against Gillingham. It took West Ham a while to make the breakthrough in that game. They won 2-0 in the end, but Gillingham gave it a really good go for the first hour, 70 minutes or so. This is Jack O'Connell back to John Egan, and just in front of his own penalty area he swivels around a full 360 degrees and now into Norwood in the midfield, who's got a great range of passing, but that one is overcooked too far in front of Ollie McBurney, who popped up on the left wing. But warm applause from the Sheffield United fans, and they like the look of what they're seeing at the moment.
Yeah, it was well worked by Sheffield United. The interchange between Fleck and McGoldrick and McBurney, they're all moving round each other, swapping positions, changing it. And talking about the number of chances that McGoldrick had, he wants to get involved in play so much that in the previous period of play that they had, where they had the pressure, they put 3 crosses in, and it took 3 crosses for him to actually get into the box to get on the end of one.
Smart turn by McBurney, got away from Noble there, pushes it in front of Enda Stevens, who slides to the byline, and Zabaleta, who loves a 50-50 challenge, and the Argentinian went right into it, put it out for a corner. That was a good play. I mean, there's no malice from either player there. Good, honest 50-50 challenge, corner to Sheffield United.
Yeah, just genuine play from 2 players wanting the ball. Good tackle, both dusted themselves up, got up and walked up and for the corner.
300th Premier League appearance for Zabaleta, former Manchester City man tonight. Norwood swings in the corner, headed over the top. What a chance. It was Egan, John Egan, looking for his first goal of the season, and he headed it just inside the 6-yard box but couldn't get it down.
Yeah, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 West Ham players lined up just inside the 6-yard box, and the problem is when a good ball comes in like that for Norwood, and the Sheffield United players are attacking it at such pace and they time it right, you don't stand a chance in defending against it. You're going to lose that header, and this is one of the problems with zonal marking.
And from a goalkeeper's point of view, Rob, if you have that, if you see the opponents are on the edge of the area and they're obviously going to run in, do you want your defenders to stand in the 6-yard box, or do you want them out running back with the attacker?
Well, me personally, you mark man for man. You had responsibility. If your man scored, you made the mistake, that's your fault. But these things move, football moves on and things change. But you know, there's massive problems with it. We saw the corner before where Fabianski punched away the ball when McGoldrick was in the 6-yard box on his own, unmarked.
That's the voice of former England goalkeeper Robert Green, watching this game with us here at Bramall Lane tonight on 5 Live. Did you like defenders on the posts at corners?
Personally, I wasn't bothered by it. No, I'd rather have them involved out in the box by and attacking the ball if they can, for the one that they save a season or 2. You know, they're going to clear 20 during the season.
0-0 it is here, 12 minutes played. Goal kick for Fabianski. West Ham have had problems with goalkeepers this season. And they're hoping that Fabianski can remain fit as he was being. I don't know if it's actually gone through, but there was a lot of talk about Darren Randolph coming back to West Ham from Middlesbrough.
He's gone down now, Fabianski.
That's all they need, isn't it? They do. On the bench tonight, the visitors have David Martin, who's been a real romantic story. He turns 34 later on this month, only made his Premier League debut last month. Son of Alvin Martin, and clearly a goalkeeper with the West Ham United close to his heart. He might be needed here with Fabianski now receiving treatment. And he came out and he punched the ball away. That's the only time I can remember him being in contact in the game so far.
He's gone and taken the goal kick, and it wasn't the furthest kick you've ever seen. It only just reached the halfway line, and walking out, he only managed to do another 2 or 3 steps. Just seeing the replay here, he's gone out and straight away, as soon as he's kicked the ball, held his hand up, signal to the bench, I'm coming off. And this looks like it's the end of the evening for Fabianski, and the start of one for Martin.
Well, you're having bad luck with injured goalkeepers, because West Ham had agreed apparently a £4 million move for Darren Randolph. It's now on hold because Randolph's injured.
He's injured. Yeah,
they can't catch a break at the moment.
Unfit.
Right.
No £4 million bid though.
Deary me. Right. Fabianski's back on his feet. However, he's walking towards the touchline. He is not going to be able to continue, and he's visibly upset. He's worked hard to get back in the team at West Ham. He has only lasted 13 minutes tonight, and David Martin, it was great scenes last month when he made that debut and they beat Chelsea first time in however long, and he was celebrating with his dad afterwards. But he's going to be thrust into the limelight again, David Martin.
Yeah, it's a tough gig this, coming on after 13, 14 minutes, and you've got another 75 minutes to go. You just want a first touch, have a first good touch, an early ball, just get control, get the basics right. His heart will be going at the moment because it's a huge stage for him, live on the TV, everyone watching here as well, and it's a massive occasion, and just taking a knee and saying a little prayer before the game can restart.
Yeah, he's gone through a little ritual down there. Well, the West Ham fans have no doubt that his heart is in the right place. They saw the performance he put in that West Ham game. He's played 4 matches, David Martin. This will be his 5th appearance. 2 clean sheets in the 4 games so far, so let's see how he gets on tonight. We're back underway. That's going to add a few minutes onto the stoppages at the end of the first half. Fleck comes forward for Sheffield United. Dilly-dally though on the edge of the penalty area, and you can't afford to do that in front of Mark Noble. Noble crunches in and wins the ball, and then Anderson plays a long searching pass which Haller is onto it. Haller gets it on the edge of the penalty area. Nutmeg of Basham. Haller's in, but he loses his footing just as he goes to pull the trigger. He was going to shoot from about 12 yards out on the angle, and he balloons it into the crowd because he slipped just as he went to shoot. That's unlucky for West Ham.
Fantastic pass from Anderson. We were just bemoaning his defending, but this is why he's in the team. And Haller initially does really well outside of the boot on the half volley, a little flick inside through the defender's legs, and the goal opens up for him. And his standing leg just gives way, and I think in the end he did well to kick it off for a goal kick rather than a throw-in.
Second time this season that Fabianski has had to go off and be substituted in the Premier League. David Martin on for West Ham 0-0 here on 5 Live. Start of another busy weekend. Tomorrow's 5 Live Sport presented by Mark Chapman from 12 noon. We'll have commentary of Manchester United against Norwich from 3 with Ian Dennis and Pat Nevin, the usual round the grounds service. On Sunday we've got commentary Bournemouth against Watford, and also Aston Villa against Manchester City. The Bournemouth game at 2 o'clock, Villa against City at 4:30. Sheffield United attacking down the right hand side, and they have a throw in. Baldock takes it quickly, receives it back from Lundstrom. 10 men back behind the ball for West Ham. Zabaleta with the diving header inside the penalty area. I think he meant to put that out for a throw, but it's gone for a corner to Sheffield United, and all 3 centre halves come forward again.
Yeah, just needed a bit of chalk on his head really there, didn't it? It came off at the wrong angle, and went right trying to head it out for a throw-in, and off for a corner. More pressure.
Right, corner, which David Martin is finding himself crowded out of it inside the 6-yard box, headed away by Haller, who's back helping out the defence. Felipe Anderson picks up the pieces, does another nutmeg, and then I think that's the 3rd nutmeg on O'Connell. Brazilian enjoying himself down there. More industrious stuff for Mark Noble as he rides a challenge and tries to float one over the top for Zabaleta, but it's a little bit too far in front of him, and Jack O'Connell rolls it into the goalkeeper Henderson, wearing all green, who clears away right-footed up over the halfway line and straight to Aaron Creswell, who gives it infield to Declan Rice, trying to accelerate away from McBurney. He's got Masuaku outside him, up against the touchline on the left-hand side, sells a dummy to Baldock, plays a clever ball back to Creswell. Here comes the delivery into the middle. Haller takes it down on his chest. Felipe Anderson unable to control. That was quite high level of skill there from Haller, the way he chested down for Felipe Anderson. I don't think the Brazilian was expecting that. Anyway, Sheffield United managed to clear it away. 17 minutes on the clock, 0-0 on 5 live. Felipe Anderson battling back again, but a clumsy tackle on Enda Stevens, and it's a free kick to Sheffield United, 10-12 yards outside the West Ham penalty area.
Yeah, unlucky there, Anderson. I mean, we've bemoaned him before for being lazy. He actually tracked back there and put in a solid challenge, and it was one that you'd say was 6-1 half a dozen at the other end. It was good play from Haller, wasn't it? A strong ball into his chest. He chested it back really well, but wasn't really to Anderson's liking.
Fleck takes the free kick, headed at the front post by Rice. It's not away, and it's cleared in front of the goalkeeper by Balbuena. Well, following up, I think Lundstrom had the second shot at goal, and Balbuena managed to get his body just in front of him. The shot came from the edge of the 6-yard box. Balbuena able to clear it away, and David Martin, the substitute goalkeeper, thrust right into the action there.
Yeah, West Ham failed to clear it on 2 occasions, and Lundstrom's strike, I think, he just surprised him a bit, didn't it? That it actually reached him, and Balbuena managed to make a block, but I don't think it was the strongest shot ever.
Lundstrom, another who's started every Premier League game so far this season. Sorry, he did until they defeated Manchester City recently. That's the one game he didn't start. 3 goals for him, 2 of them against Burnley in November. Fleck plays it forward. McGoldrick will gamely sprint after it again, but Balbuena gets his head to it and puts it out for a throw. Throw into Sheffield United down the left-hand side, 10 yards from the corner flag. McGoldrick leaves it for his Republic of Ireland international teammate Enda Stevens, who's up from left wing-back. Throws it short to Jack O'Connell. Stevens tries to return it to him, and then I think O'Connell must have run into Zabaleta there, because the referee, who's just Michael Oliver, by the way, says free kick to West Ham.
Yeah, it's interesting looking at this, West Ham's back three, that Sheffield United have identified that, and as soon as their wing backs or wide centre halves are getting the ball, they're immediately looking over the wing back of West Ham into the space where a right back would be, and the runs are there straight away. McGoldrick straight away is making that run, and that's the pressure that they're putting them under. They're good balls in, but just the willingness to run is creating that pressure.
David Moyes hoping for a win tonight to make it 2 league wins in a row at the start of his tenure. You've got to go back 12 years for the last time a West Ham manager, let's be fair, they've had quite a few of them in that time, won their opening 2 league games in a row. Zola did it back in 2008. There's a free kick here for West Ham, some 10 yards into the Sheffield United half. Sheffield United fall back into a defensive formation, not too deep though. Interesting to see that all the defenders are holding a line about 3-4 yards outside the penalty area, as Creswell prepares to swing this one in. He's got a good left boot in him, and he's just waiting because Balbuena and Igbona are making their way forward, and it's quite congested here around the D of the penalty area. Again, Sheffield United with that rather high line just outside the box, so Cresswell will try and send it in between there and the goalkeeper. Here comes the delivery, headed away by Chris Basham, and then it'll be Masuaku who picks it up and takes a tumble in the penalty area. Michael Oliver was very close to that. He says no penalty, and to be fair to Masuaku, he gets up and waves his arm and says, I wasn't appealing for a penalty, that's fine, nothing wrong there, which is good to see. Cross on the left hand side, up there is Ogbonna, can't get a clean touch on it though. It'll spill out of the penalty area. McBurney shepherds it out, knowing it'll be a throw in to Sheffield United, left full back position for them. We've reached the 22nd minute of the game, still Sheffield United 0, West Ham 0.
Yeah, Masuaku, I mean, he just slipped in the box. I think there's no problem, I think, today with today's day and age with diving and everyone trying to be very aware of it. And, sometimes players do just slip over, and he sort of bundled into the box, bundled his way in, and bundled his way onto the floor as well. So, he got up and sort of had no complaints.
Right, we're a quarter way into this game. David Moyes, I think, will be quite pleased with how this is going so far. His team seem up for this. The attitude, which is a word we've heard a lot about West Ham in the last 10 days. Attitude seems good.
Yeah, I think the voices within the West Ham camp, the words they used was night and day. I think since he came in, and sometimes these things you wonder why, as a fan or as a pundit, that you think why they happen, but as a player, it's very hard to describe it. Sometimes, a change of manager just brings that freshness.
This is Lundstrom back helping out the defence, rolls it for goalkeeper Dean Henderson, and then cleared away by Jack O'Connell on the left hand side. One of the more surprising stats I read this week was that the Premier League this season, West Ham are the most accurate team in front of goal. So they've had 217 shots, they've hit the target with almost half of those, which is higher than any other team, which I'm sure would have a few West Ham fans scratching their head thinking, really? Is that us? As Stevens plays it into the penalty area, and it's headed away by Ogbonna. Can they provide the opportunities for the front men tonight? Because so far Haller, who's done very well defensively, he'd one great turn when Felipe Anderson found him with a good pass. That's been the only time he's been played in, as a strong challenge has gone in on Aaron Cresswell on the far side. I think it was by Lundstrom, and the assistant is right in front of that. Free kick has been given. Don't think there's going to be any further action though. Cresswell still not back up to his feet.
Not a lot in that one. I think he just twisted his ankle as he turned to chase the ball, and I think he got I'm not saying he's not in pain, but I think he was fortunate in the way that he got a free kick, because it was just a mere twist of the ankle.
15th Premier League appearance of the season for Aaron Cresswell, the former Ipswich man.
Oh no, he trod on his ankle. That's it. I take it back. He trod right on his ankle. That's painful.
Could that have been a yellow card?
No. Purely accidental, but painful all the same.
So David Martin comes out of his penalty area to take that free kick, sends it into Sheffield United territory. Fleck nods it down for Lundstrom. McBurney again, who's been busy without being given a proper shooting opportunity in the game. He can't hold on to it here. Masuaku has done well. Lanzini onto Anderson. Promising build-up this for West Ham as Zabaleta joins in on the right-hand side. And now Noble, 10 yards outside the penalty area, can look up. Couldn't get underneath the cross though. Sent it in low, easily cleared away by O'Connell. And Noble allows it to bounce, knowing it'll be a West Ham throw. Still 0-0 on 5 Live.
Yeah, probably West Ham's best bit of football that for the game. And Masuaku turning through 2 tackles and breaking down the left, spreading it out to the right, and just Mark Noble needed the quality, and it just wasn't there then.
You'll see the highlights of this game, by the way, and all of tomorrow's action. Match of the day tomorrow night, 10:30 on BBC One. Gary Lineker will be with Jermaine Genus and Danny Murphy. This is 5 Live from the BBC on a chilly night at Bramall Lane, on the day that Sheffield United have announced that manager Chris Wilder has been given a new 4.5-year contract, and they are hoping to pick up and regain momentum, which is slowed just ever so slightly after back-to-back defeats at the Etihad and at Anfield. As O'Connell plays it long, Fleck is going to sprint after this. Balbuena's got a head start and he'll leave it out, and that's a goal kick to West Ham. And we've reached the 25-minute mark.
Yeah, Mark Noble just applauding the front three there. They're pressing as a 3 flat and putting the pressure on the centre-halves to say, look, we're going to, as soon as you get the ball and look up, they want to find the centre midfielders, we're going to be on you. And we were talking about the runners there were 2 Sheffield United runners, but because the pressure was on the centre-half before he played the ball, the quality wasn't there, and it just goes straight out to touch.
By the way, next week, 5 Live Sport and BBC Sounds will bring you coverage of Conor McGregor's return to UFC. We'll have daily podcasts available via BBC Sounds from Wednesday, and then there'll be coverage across BBC Sports website and the iPlayer as well. The fight in full from Vegas in the early hours of Sunday morning. That's Conor McGregor's return to UFC, and we'll be all over it this week on 5 Live Sport and BBC Sounds. Here at Bramall Lane, Declan Rice controls possession, gives it to Masuaku on the left. Cresswell will scoop it into the Sheffield United half. Lanzini tries to control, but he's crowded out of it, and the ball goes off Lundstrom for a West Ham throw close to the halfway line. That's far side of the pitch from us. Masuaku takes it and throws it back into his own half to Ogbonna. He's got Balbuena, the Dutchman, to his right-hand side, and now Zabaleta, the Argentinian, who's closed down by Enda Stevens, who charges that attempted clearance, and the ball goes out for a West Ham throw. David Moyes clapping his hands, claps of encouragement down there. Both coaches in their tracksuits, both with warm coats on. Zabaleta back to Balbuena. West Ham retreat to the goalkeeper once again. West Ham's 4-0 win over Bournemouth, their biggest win in more than a year. This is Zabaleta on the halfway line to Felipe Anderson with the long sleeves and the gloves, and he sprints away from Enda Stevens, passes it back to Balbuena once again. West Ham are looking switched on though. We've not seen many wayward passes. They're probably playing it a little bit safe, but they're not losing possession, which I think will please David Moyes in these opening 26-27 minutes. Here is Noble on the halfway line. Low pass to Zabaleta, again safe pass back to Balbuena, 10 yards inside his own half. Declan Rice to Noble, playing with the head up, doesn't see any safe ball forward, so it's turned and safe pass again. Robert Green back to the centre of the field.
Yeah, it's all very safe, isn't it? It's both teams formation wise have cancelled each other out, and both are working very hard at the moment, which, you know, it stifles the game a little bit, but you can understand tactically why they've done it. And, you know, West Ham giving Sheffield United the respect that we're going to come here, we're going to match you up, and actually we're going to appreciate having the ball because we need the ball, because we know what a threat you are.
Free kick for a foul on Lanzini, free kick to West Ham. And number 5 is the target for both of these teams tonight. If West Ham win, they go 5 points clear of the relegation zone. If Sheffield United win, they go into the top 5 places in the Premier League, as Rice chests it down midway inside the Sheffield United half. He's done well there under pressure. Felipe Anderson with quick feet. Now Lanzini onto Masuaku. Crossing position, good defending by Baldock. Snuffs it out at source. Out for a throw-in down by the corner flag that West Ham are attacking on the left-hand side. If you're just joining us on 5 Live, still Sheffield United 0, West Ham United 0.
Yeah, West Ham breaking down the left. Masuaku having a chance to cross, but it's there's only one player, Haller, in the box, and Sheffield United are comfortable. They've got 3 tall centre-halves in there, and they're saying, well, we can deal with this. So it's a tough one formation-wise, but you can see why both teams are playing the way they are.
West Ham have won a corner, ball played off George Baldock. So a chance for David Moyes' side to send the big men up. Corner's going to be played in by Lanzini on the far side. Sheffield United have all 11 of their team back inside their own penalty area. Here's the delivery headed away by Chris Basham. Good distance on the header as well, well outside the penalty area. Noble will pick it up near the centre circle, and most of his teammates are ahead of him. Gives it to the left-hand side to Cresswell, who I don't think was ready for that. He's giving it away here to Fleck. Chance of a counter-attack for Sheffield United as West Ham trying to get bodies back. Ball is pushed in front of McGoldrick, but too far in front of him. And Zabaleta sweeps across from the right-hand side, covering the left-hand side of defence, and West Ham are able to clear it away. An uncertain header by Egan. They could be in trouble here. Felipe Anderson into the penalty area, puts it wide. Hands down, the best chance of the game so far. John Egan's mistake, pounced upon by Felipe Anderson, but he put it wide and should have done better.
Yeah, just a big long ball forward from David Martin, clearing a back pass and not cleared, not defended well, not headed away, and he's done well. He's done everything he should do. Shot across goal, struck it well enough, but a yard wide. And in a tight game, these little chances, they're the ones that can make the difference.
Tell you what, Felipe Anderson had a turn of pace there. He made it look like the Sheffield United defenders are running slowly. That's how quick he was. Having got into that position to have a clear side of goal, he just tried to roll it into the bottom left corner, but he put it a couple of feet wide. It's a let-off for Sheffield United. 0-0 here at Bramall Lane this Friday evening on 5 Live. Long throw. McGoldrick will scamper after it too long. Goes out for a goal kick for David Martin, the West Ham keeper.
When we talk about tactics, we talk about the way you play, but also the willingness to run, and Anderson there was just willing to run. He didn't know that the defender was going to misplace his header. He didn't know. He's just taking a chance that he might, and he gets the best chance of the game from it.
Felipe Anderson was West Ham's joint top scorer last season. On New Year's Day he scored against Bournemouth. That was his first goal of this season. First goal since April. West Ham fans will be hoping that the arrival of David Moyes will see an upturn in form for him. He's certainly putting in the effort tonight, which has been one of the criticisms of him this season up until this point. Zabaleta on the halfway line rolls it back to Balbuena. And at the moment, West Ham are seeing more of the ball than Sheffield United. As Fleck tries to get close on Mark Noble, and Noble gives it back to Angelo Ogbonna, the former Juventus man. Forward now to Haller. That's a great touch onto Cresswell on the left wing, and good closing down by Lundstrom, and puts it out. Chris Wilder makes so few changes, these Sheffield United players have a lot of miles on the clock, and yet the energy is there. There appears to be lots left in the tank from these players.
Well, these are the boys that did it in the Championship, so if you think you've played a lot of games in the Premier League, it's nothing. It's those guys in the Championship, they earn their corn.
Rice allows the ball out, knowing it'll be a West Ham throw. Gives it back to Ogbonna. It's safe to say, and everything being relative, but West Ham are just quietening down the Bramall Lane crowd here. Sort of murmurings, and they expect their team to be up and at it a little bit more here. They had that opportunity when Balbuena cleared away in front of David Martin, but that feels a long time ago now, and Sheffield United haven't been creating chances. Anderson jumps and is beaten in the air, but it falls down for Noble. Whips it out to the left wing position. Cresswell back into defence again, and Ogbonna. Once more it's West Ham dictating the tempo here. Balbuena forward to Felipe Anderson, tried to flick it on but didn't get a firm touch. Enda Stevens turns in field of it. Good pressure being applied by Anderson, so it's back to Jack O'Connell, who clears it long. Balbuena's head is uncertain. McGoldrick now crossing position on the left hand side. Angelo comes out to be the bodyguard on him. McGoldrick's attempted layoff is weak, gives it to Zabaleta, and then well charged down by Enda Stevens, and West Ham remain penned in for now. They've got to throw in right full-back position for them, 0-0.
Yeah, a couple of times in the last 5 minutes, Zabaleta just using his experience, sort of being in and around the game, being involved in it, but also reading the passes and just seeing where the player's going to play the ball next, and just arriving at the right time, picking it up and clearing the danger.
Sheffield United 0, West Ham United 0. David Moyes hoping to continue his 100% start since returning to West Ham. Felipe Anderson rolls it in front of Masuaku here. He's got to have a run at Baldock, gets to the edge of the penalty area, has a crack, and it's well wide, but I think that's more encouraging signs from West Ham. They are taking the game to Chris Wilder's team here.
Yeah, it took about 10 minutes for West Ham to realise that Masuaku is A, playing well, and B, in a lot of space as well, and now they started to utilise him more. He's proving to be a threat. I mean, that shot was threatening the crowd more than it was the goal, but it's a sign that West Ham are now waking up to the fact that that's where the spaces are.
Long clearance by Henderson, one in the air by McBurney, the former Swansea striker. Ogbonna clears away for West Ham. Anderson inside the centre circle. Lovely tricky feed again from him to find Haller in a tight congested space. Now this is Declan Rice who turns, and again the safe pass back to Balbuena, and that allows Sheffield United to get settled and to fall back into a defensive formation of their own. Down below us, Chris Wilder's pointing in the direction that Sheffield United are playing. He wants more of a press there. West Ham's defenders have been allowed to play it out rather comfortably. Appeals for a handball as Balbuena slipped as he tried to control. Play on, says the referee. McBurney helps it on to Basham. Now Sheffield United got plenty of players forward here, but West Ham have got plenty back. That's well worked. Baldock crossing position on the right hand side, hangs it in. McGoldrick tries to get the head to it. Zabaleta was with him. No clean contact, and the ball is kept at play by Enda Stevens. Support behind from Jack O'Connell. Sheffield United still well inside West Ham's half. Here comes Stevens, crosses it deep, throws the back post. He's unlucky there. His teammates had all come to more central positions. There was no one at the back post, and West Ham are able to get it away, and Lanzini finds himself tackled by Lundstrom, and the home support enjoyed that. Sheffield United fans finding their voices once again. Still 0-0 on 5 Live under the Friday night lights here at Bramall Lane. Mark Noble, 15 yards in front of his own penalty area, tries to dribble through the centre. Lanzini out into space for his fellow Argentinian Zabaleta, and now over the halfway line to Felipe Anderson, who canters down the right wing. Fleck is with him. Another nutmeg from Felipe Anderson into a crossing position. Great build-up, terrible cross, and Sheffield United are able to clear it away. Robert Gray.
Yeah, great play by Anderson up until the final ball. It was just that final ball. He's looking for Haller and looking to find him, but with 3 centre-halves around it and him being the only one in the box, it's eye of a needle pass, and it's so hard round there.
This is good stuff from West Ham, who started this game just 2 points above the relegation zone, but they're not playing like a team that are down amongst the survival-threatened clubs. Haller here receives it with his back to goal and turns very smartly, and now on to Felipe Anderson, who helps it in front of Zabaleta. Crossing position right hand side at the byline. Terrible ball in from Zabaleta, way below his standard, too close to Dean Henderson. It's that final pass, that final hit is just letting West Ham down at the moment. Otherwise, they're playing very well.
Yeah, that bit of quality in and around the box, and they got 3 players into the box that time. A real opportunity. Zabaleta had time to pick out the pass, pick out the cross, find the man for a really good chance, and failed. Found the keeper.
Here is Balbuena with defending to do inside the penalty area. Bonner had slipped. McBurney was trying to get in. Balbuena, safety first, puts it out for a corner. Corner to Sheffield United with less than 10 minutes now to go until half-time, or certainly the end of the 45 minutes. There'll be a bit added on for stoppages because we had that injury delay when Fabianski went off injured, replaced by David Martin. Corner to Sheffield United, which will be taken by John Fleck, Scotland international. Left-footed player. This will be in-swinging. Here it comes towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Lundstrom was arriving well and he jumped well, but then the header is skewed away wide, and no alarm there for West Ham. Goal kick for the visitors.
Clever play there by Basham. Realised that Lundstrom was making the run to the far post, went and stood on the end zonal man of West Ham, which was Haller, and allowed him to have a free run at the header. The ball was a bit too far, but the idea is there. This is another weakness. If you block that end man, your man who can run around it, he gets a free header.
Just seeing on our monitor here, Jack Rodwell is here in his Sheffield United tracksuit watching on. Recent recruit by Chris Wilder, hoping to get the best out of a player who, we all know the talent he's got. Careers seem to go a little bit wayward in recent times, but Sheffield United will be hoping to get the best out of him. Masuaku goes on a run now. He might have been caught there, was he, by Basham? Referee comes across, free kick to West Ham. That was a little bit reckless from Basham, and free kick midway inside the Sheffield United half for West Ham, and another chance to send the big men up from the back.
Yeah. Masuaku going 70 mile an hour down the wing, and Basham coming 70 mile an hour out of defence, and he wasn't going to make it, was he? And I think he just pulled out in time for it to be for it not to be a yellow card. If he'd have gone in wholehearted, I think he could have been in bother.
Rodwell played for Sheffield United against AFC Fylde in the FA Cup of the weekend. West Ham play the free kick into the penalty area. Haller tries to flick it on, and McBurney will try and clear away. Plays it off. Balbuena out for a Sheffield United throw. But Sheffield United have been made to work here. You know, the last 2 league games, Liverpool and Manchester City, they'll have expected those to be tough. This is tough as well. And the big games keep coming. Sheffield United travel to Arsenal next weekend. And it's Manchester City here on Tuesday. That's Tuesday 21st. A game we'll have live on 5 Live. And then Sheffield United's date in the 4th round of the FA Cup is a trip to Millwall. Long clearance up towards McGoldrick, who's easily dealt with by Balbuena. West Ham have it all under control again as Bonner rolls in front of Creswell, and the visitors move back into the Sheffield United half once again. Rice to Felipe Anderson, took his eye off it for half a second, and Norwood was in to win the ball for Sheffield United. Will there be a break in the deadlock ahead of half time? Fleck holds it up midway inside the West Ham United half. Sheffield United play from right to left as we look down here. Basham out to Baldock on the right hand side. Good work by Masuaku to breathe down his neck. Nice pass to Lundstrom though, edge of the penalty area, turns onto his left foot, whips it in too far in front of McBurney, but it was dangerous. That's the best we've seen from Sheffield United in quite some time. 0-0 it remains.
Yeah, good play by Sheffield United. Got a bit of space on the left wing. Clever turn by Lundstrom, back onto his left foot, and yeah, it was just a little bit too far for everyone in the box. Good numbers in there, and way over. And McBurney, sliding in towards the goal, made it a bit better than it actually looked. I don't think any of the West Ham defenders were troubled by it at all.
Yeah, Ollie McBurney, who scored against Brighton last month. That was his 3rd Premier League goal of the season. Last year in the Championship he scored 22 times for Swansea. He certainly hasn't had the same number of opportunities in the top flight. Good header won by Egan, but it goes straight to Bonner, who clears away for West Ham, and then Sheffield United get it back with Enda Stevens, who sends one down the left flank. Balbuena in ahead of McGoldrick again. Nothing fancy from Noble as he sends it back to David Martin. Actually bounced a little bit awkwardly in front of Martin, but he did well to get it away. That was one of those that could have gone wrong, as Lanzini picks it up here for West Ham to Felipe Anderson on the halfway line. Back to Lanzini. Man, there's plenty of talent in this West Ham team, and you look at the players and the number of caps that they've got between them. They really shouldn't be down around the relegation zone, but it's not been a great season so far, and they're hoping that this little boost that David Moyes has brought them is the real thing. Played toward Haller, who tried to control, and I think he handled that as it came down out of the sky. He handled it. Free kick to Sheffield United, which they have taken already. Half-time almost upon us. 4 minutes of normal time to go. Egan tries to play his way out of a tricky corner. And so Stevens into Egan, and now into space for Basham. Sheffield United will come over the halfway line. West Ham have got to fall back into a defensive formation once again. This is Norwood on the halfway line. Loops one over the top. Basham will sprint after it, but too far in front of him. And those little balls over the top just aren't working for Sheffield United today. They're being overstruck and overcooked, and invariably either going through to the goalkeeper or out for goal kicks.
Well, the difficulty with these runs is you can only make one. You can only make one run behind the defence. You've got to run all the way back then to come back to make another run. And they've got 2-3 players doing that when they first win the ball. McGoldrick goes, Fleck goes, McBurney goes. They all go together. And if they don't play it, you're then having to hold the ball up to wait for them to get back into play. So, it then provides West Ham an opportunity to put the pressure on the Sheffield United players, and then the quality goes.
Sheffield United looking for their first win in 4 Premier League games. Before losing to Liverpool and Man City, they drew against Watford. That was on Boxing Day here when Norwood scored a penalty. I remember being here. This is Basham inside the centre circle. However, it's going to come back for a foul by Fleck, I believe, inside the centre circle. Free kick to West Ham. A few groans from the Sheffield United supporters. Sheffield United 0, West Ham 0. If you're just joining our coverage, well, the reason it's been held up there actually wasn't a foul. It was the ball hit the referee, so it's come back for a drop ball, which of course is always.
I think it broke his buzzer on his arm or something. Something's. It just sent something to the touchline. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Mind you, they've more accessories than Batman's utility belts these days.
Gadget,
referees,
go gadget.
I'm surprised they can run around with all the accoutrements. This is Rice out to the left-hand side to Cresswell. Long searching ball, too close. Ooh, tell you what, Henderson, just as he went to receive that, Egan was sliding back in, Haller was arriving, and he fumbled at the goalkeeper, but then instantly recovered again. That's all they want is a late mistake here that could lead to the opening goal ahead of half-time. The long clearance by Dean Henderson up over the halfway line. Basham wins a header. McGoldrick flicks it on, but there's no one to flick it on to. And that's just going to trickle out for a throw-in left full-back position for West Ham.
It's the one time that no one makes a run when he wins the header. I mean, if that doesn't sum up Sheffield United's half, it is a little bit frustrating for them. They've worked hard, they put the industry in, but at this time, when the quality's needed, it's not been there. And then when it is there, the run hasn't been there.
West Ham, the last time they had an away win against Sheffield United was when both teams were the second tier, 2004. Teddy Sheringham scored the winner, late one as well, 5 minutes from time. 0-0 it is here at the moment between these two teams at opposite ends of the table. That's good work in the midfield by Norwood to win back possession for Sheffield United here. Fleck will give it out to the left wing. Enda Stevens creeping infield now as he gets midway inside the West Ham half. Good tackle from Declan Rice. The loose ball falls to Lundstrom. Gives it out to the left-hand side to O'Connell, whose cross set off with too wide an arc, and it couldn't bend around in time, and it sails over the crossbar. And that is a goal kick to West Ham, and with 30 seconds of normal time remaining in the first half. Fourth official, who is Simon Hooper down there, is preparing to hold up the board to tell us what's going to be added on. We think 2 minutes will be added on for stoppages here ahead of an entertaining opening 45 minutes, Robert Green, but probably needs a goal here to spice things up a little bit.
Yeah, shot on target would be nice. Tactically it's been interesting. It's been one where you realise that the positions of the two clubs, and West Ham would say, well, we're better than the position that we're showing, but we're going to show Sheffield United the respect and match them up and work hard and deny them the opportunities, and they've done that.
Confirmation it is. 2 minutes to be added on. We're into those now. Felipe Anderson picks up a stray pass just inside his own half, pushes it in front of Sebastian Haller, held up by Basham as Stevens comes to try and help him out, but Haller holds on to the ball and waits for the cavalry to arrive. Declan Rice appears with Cresswell to his left-hand side. Out to the left wing to Masuaku. Takes on Baldock. Baldock tackles him. That'll be a corner. Corner for West Ham in stoppage time ahead of half-time. Still 0-0.
It's a big moment, this, in the course of the game. I mean, we laugh and joke about the lack of opportunities, but realistically, if it's going to come down to something, it might come down to a set piece. And January away from home, Friday night, it's a fantastic time to score. And if that sets up a win, West Ham will take that, won't they? Probably.
Yeah, it's one of the football cliches, but this would be a great time to score. In comes the corner, too close to the goalkeeper. Dean Henderson gathers it. So
he had an acre there, didn't he? It looks so easy. I tell you, that's last minute. It means so much to your teammates that you can come and get that ball and claim across and take the pressure off. But it looks so easy from here, the way he just wanders out and catches the ball. But the rest of his teammates will be absolutely delighted with him.
Just watching Henderson there, good lesson for any young goalkeepers watching on. 3 times there, after he'd gathered it, he glanced behind to make sure that no opponent was lurking. Before he would roll the ball to play it on the ground. The first 2 times, I'm going to check again. It's like when you're crossing the road, look left, look right, look left again. As Felipe Anderson plays it from inside his own half. Good pass again. We've seen some good passing tonight at stages from West Ham, but invariably the really good passes have been in the central third. They need to get that killer instinct closer to the Sheffield United goal. Ogbonna plays it forward here, looking for Lanzini. 2 minutes are almost up here ahead of half-time. We'll be back in the studio with Darren Fletcher and Lee Hendry at half-time here on 5 Live, building up to tomorrow's games in the Premier League. Our 3 o'clock commentary will feature Manchester United. We'll be live from Old Trafford, Manchester United against Norwich with Ian Dennis. The usual round-the-ground service. There it is, the half-time whistle at Bramall Lane. So Felipe Anderson with the best chance of that first half. He couldn't keep his composure and hit the target. But West Ham are showing that David Moyes has instilled something, Robert Green, because they are a much better team than they've been in recent months, and they're really giving Sheffield United a go here tonight. Yeah,
tactically pretty spot on, really. Matched up Sheffield United, denied them many opportunities, and effort-wise, he's been there. And so, as a West Ham manager, as David Moyes, looking at the team, will be walking in very happy.
There you go, Fletch. Half-time, 0-0, and not a single shot on target. Yeah, that's the way. Well, first of all, baby steps. Let's get a shot on target, and we'll take it from there.
No pressure here, no.
Yeah. Right. Well, doesn't look like there's any changes in personnel over half-time here. Felipe Anderson had the best chance of that first half for West Ham. Sheffield United now will hope to come out punching at the start of this second half. Great atmosphere here on this Friday night at Bramall Lane as we get back underway. West Ham in their change strip, all navy. Haller wins a header straight to Egan though, and in front of his own penalty area. He will roll it back to the goalkeeper Dean Henderson. So Sheffield United with Henderson in goal, 3 central defenders, Basham, Egan and O'Connell. Then Baldock and Stevens are the 2 wing backs, as David Martin just about gets it underway there, away under pressure from McBurney, had ran in to charge him. With Lundstrom, Norwood and Fleck, the 3 midfielders for Sheffield United. And then 2 up top, McGoldrick and McBurney, have done lots of running, lots of flick-ons, but nothing like a shot on target from either of those 2 yet. For West Ham, David Martin came on as a sub in the first half. Fabianski forced off injured. They've got defenders Zabaleta, Balbuena, Ogbonna, Cresswell, Masuaku on the left-hand side, with Declan Rice in the anchor role in the middle, Mark Noble, Felipe Anderson and Lanzini in the middle of the park, and Sebastian Haller as the striker up front. Throw into Sheffield United, left-hand side of the pitch for them. They're playing from left to right as we look down in their red and white vertical stripes, the black shorts, the red socks. Throw in taken by Enda Stevens to McBurney, who can't make it stick, and it's taken away from him. And now Zabaleta will play one down the channel on the right, but too far in front of Haller, and that runs through to the goalkeeper Henderson once again, who bowls it out on overarm to Chris Basham, who immediately injects a bit of pace and brings possession up to the halfway line. Sends it direct towards Lundstrom. Intercepted though by Cresswell. West Ham have it back. Rice will turn. Under pressure from Lundstrom, rolls it to the edge of the penalty area, and then it'll be Ogbonna back to the goalkeeper David Martin. So 0-0 at Bramall Lane. Busy start to the second half, but will we get a breakthrough? Noble back to Balbuena, flicks it up for himself and then volleys it away. John Egan's got everything under control there, and he'll roll it back to the goalkeeper Dean Henderson, looking for his 8th clean sheet in the Premier League this season. If he gets it, it would move him level with Kasper Schmeichel for having the most. That race for the golden gloves this season, Henderson very much a part of it. This is Baldock. just inside his own half, under pressure from Lanzini, turns and rolls it back to the keeper again. Rob.
Yeah, I mean, two little bugbears of mine. West Ham from the kick-off, roll it back, kick it forward to Haller, who's on his own in the Sheffield United half. I mean, what a start! How's that? You know you're going to do one thing in the game, and that's take a kick-off. At least get that right. And it's so frustrating as a manager that they plan these things and they don't do what you tell them to do.
Yeah, so few things you can prepare for exactly in football, and that is one of them, isn't it? As Baldock's beaten to the ball here by Lanzini. Masuaku now has run into a bit of a cul-de-sac, but he's helped out by Cresswell. Good pressure again from Sheffield United. You can see Baldock is really pumped up. He's clapping there, I think as much drumming up himself as anyone else, because he charged down the clearance. Throw in for West Ham, left-hand side of their defence, and Cresswell with the silver boots. Not much movement for him, I have to say. No one's making an effort, and he sort of waves a hand. He says, come on, give me something. Throws it towards Haller. Won back by Baldock. Sheffield United have it once again, but they don't keep it very long. Bounces out of play. Throw into West Ham and Cresswell in almost an identical position from where he took one a moment ago. Some of the substitutes are going to warm up. Amongst them, Lys Mousset, who must be an odds-on favourite to come on, as Sheffield United wants a little bit more presence up front. This is Noble in midfield for West Ham, under pressure from McGoldrick. He just about gets it out to Zabaleta, as it's still inside the West Ham half. 1-2 between Zabaleta and Noble. Now Zabaleta's into the opponent's territory. Lanzini is there, gets away from Norwood. To Felipe Anderson, fancies a little run, turns back in himself. West Ham holding on to possession midway inside the Sheffield United half. Lanzini, low ball towards the edge of the penalty area, just as Haller had made a dart to the back post. That was played shorter, and groans from the travelling fans as West Ham's promising build-up breaks down, and Sheffield United now break into the West Ham half. This is Baldock down the right-hand side. Masuaku in pursuit. Baldock gets all the way to the byline. Held up. Has a little glance to see what's on. He's been herded in towards the corner flag. Gets it back to Lundstrom. Now there's a cross by Norwood. Sits up for Fleck. Hits it into the body of Zabaleta. Back to Fleck. Oh, it's wide. With the goalkeeper out of position from the first shot. That was a big opportunity for Sheffield United. John Fleck put it wide.
Yeah, it wasn't a great clearance by Balbuena, and what him and Zabaleta do is stand almost like two individual statues in front of the strike, arms down, don't want to give away a penalty. David Martin dives for the initial shot, comes back to him, and just open goal to aim at. Ball coming back to him at pace, and he drags it wide. It's a tough chance, but you know, it's one of those you say in the context of the game, a big one.
Absolutely, that is an opportunity. And England manager Gareth Southgate is here watching on in the crowd. John Fleck, two chances. The first when he hit it, it was to the goalkeeper's right, and David Martin set off to dive, blocked by a defender, but he was then on the ground. So goal at the mercy to Fleck when it came back to him the second time, and he did try to put it in the other corner, but wide of the post.
Yeah, big chance that, and you're looking at it, and it wasn't a great ball in, but it was just the pressure of number of bodies in the box that, you know, Balbuena couldn't get a clear header away on it, and it just creates that chance, and you just got to commit bodies into the box. That's all it is.
5 minutes played in the second half. Host of substitutes from both sides warming up away to our left, where Cresswell's preparing to take this throw in. Left wing for West Ham. Anderson's waiting in the middle, Haller as well. Can they provide a decent cross here? Lanzini gives it back to Cresswell. Closed down by Basham. Cresswell tries to wriggle for some space, and then further support comes from Baldock, and that's put out for another West Ham throw, and they'll do it all again. This time thrown back to Masuaku. Crossing position on the left-hand side. Twinkling toes as he tries to jiggle his way into a crossing position, but there's no room there at all, and Sheffield United get it back, and it's cleared away towards McGoldrick, and difficult one for him to receive. Sprinting towards the touchline, he can't keep it in play. Throw into West Ham, back inside their own half, still 0-0.
West Ham had two throws there in the attacking area, you know, in line with the penalty area of Sheffield United, and not one player moved. They didn't make a movement, didn't offer anything to Cresswell, and it's again much like the kick-off. It must be so frustrating for a manager.
Here comes Fleck again for Sheffield United. He's got Stevens outside him on the left, tries to cross it in, headed away by Balbuena. He'll get another chance here. Stevens steadies himself, sends it in low. Balbuena again hoops it out for a corner. McGoldrick was lurking in behind him, Well, that goes out for a quarter to Sheffield United on the left-hand side.
Yeah, McBurney and McGoldrick both had a yard on their defender there, and he still couldn't beat that near post man. And you're looking, we're saying that final ball, that bit of quality, still searching for it.
5 Live from the BBC at Bramall Lane on this Friday evening. 0-0 between Sheffield United and West Ham United. The corner is played short and back out to Norwood. Oh, chance for McBurney, but he couldn't keep the header down. Into the 6-yard box, and rather than him heading the ball, it was like it hit him on the head and it bounced away and up over the crossbar.
I'm not sure if he's surprised that it beat Balbuena really, and I think he just mistimes his jump, doesn't he? Balbuena, he beats the near post man in Balbuena, but enough for him to not see the ball and mistime his jump and comes off the side of the head.
Ollie McBurney, who has come on as a sub more often than he started. That's a terrible clearance. Fleck could be in here. Rolls it to McBurney! 1-0 to Sheffield United. What happened there? West Ham's defence gave up possession so easily. David Martin looks very embarrassed down there. His clearance, and Sheffield United pounced upon it. The replacement goalkeeper has given up an easy chance, and Sheffield United have taken it with both arms. Ollie McBurney teed up for him unselfishly by John Fleck. Martin tried to make amends as he ran back, but he couldn't keep it out. We're just getting to see a replay here, Rob Green. I'm wondering from the goalkeepers' union, is Balbuena as much at fault here as Martin?
Well, it's a difficult one, it's a horrible one, but it's one where the whole back four pushed up. West Ham are completely pushed up. Balbuena makes the run back to show and continues his run back, and David Martin hits it to where he was, and because he's running back, he can't react in time to get back. Fleck takes it off him, 2-on-1 with David Martin, passes it square to McBurney, who shanks his shot, and David Martin, if he didn't do it, he went as big as he could across the goal, and actually if he'd have dived along the floor, he probably would have saved it, and it's just crept underneath him. And in a tight game like this, it was something out of completely nothing. It's one that realistically it's out of playground, isn't it? It's a mix up between two players, and like we say, frustrations for managers. You can plan all you want, but you can't plan for things like that.
Yeah, David Moyes has got a bit redder in the face down there. He's got his arms folded across his chest. He was staring down at the ground. You can do all you want in training. You can set up your tactics. You can analyse your opponents, but if your goalkeeper passes it out to the opponent strikers, you're going to be in trouble. And West Ham now might be. Sheffield United, are they heading back into the top 5 in the Premier League table? What a story this season is for Chris Wilder, handed a new contract today through to 2024. McBurney took his chances. Robert Green said he did scuff the shot, mind you, and he'll have been as relieved as anyone to see it hit the back of the net. Here they come again. Stevens for Sheffield United appeals for a handball by Ogbonna. Play on, says the referee. West Ham are rattled here. McBurney will sprint to try and keep it in play, but it beats him to the touchline. Throw into West Ham, who need to regain some composure.
Yeah, absolutely. They're a little bit at 6s and 7s here, playing 5-yard passes to each other when they don't really want it. They need to slow the game down, much like they did in the first half. Just a little bit of composure, a little bit calm the crowd, calm everyone down. It's a goal, it's happened. You've got to move on, put it behind you. And you know what? They'd have taken a draw at the start of the game probably. I'll tell you what, now they take it even more.
Yeah, heart goes out to David Martin. Joined West Ham on a free transfer in July. West Ham in his DNA, son of Alvin Martin. Great story when he played against Chelsea, made his debut. They beat Chelsea, West Ham, and he felt the Hammers' hero that day. But this is the other end of the scale now. He's made a mistake which has been punished, and West Ham find themselves behind. What's it like, Robert Gray? Give us the insight when you make a mistake and you still have another. Now, I'm sure it never happened to you, apart from the very famous ones. What's in his head? I mean, of course you'll say forget all about it, but how do you?
You have a moment's horrible the ground wants to swallow you up. You want to get the ball back and go, no, let's take that again. That didn't count, But in my own brain, I turn around and say, look, I'm going to make one of these every now and again. It's happened. Let's make sure it doesn't happen again for a long time.
Yeah, it happens to the best of them, doesn't it? As Haller here tries to give it to Lanzini, a little bit too much on it. West Ham forcing things now. This is Noble, centre of the Sheffield United half. Great tracking back from McBurney. He picked the pocket of Mark Noble there. Noble was just looking up to play the killer pass, and McBurney nipped in and took possession away from him, and you can see the wind is in the sails now of Sheffield United. This cagey game, which was very 0-0 for those opening 53 minutes, but 8 minutes into the second half, Sheffield United have taken the lead. David Martin here comes out and gathers possession, and he, as much as anyone now, will want to inspire West Ham back into this game. He bowls it out low to Balbuena, forward to Felipe Anderson, out to Zabaleta. This is still inside the West Ham half. Felipe Anderson gets involved once again, plays it forward to Lanzini, nearly comes back to the Brazilian, but he can't control it. Felipe Anderson, so Sheffield United get it back again. John Lundstrom, the former Everton man, and he's tackled inside the centre circle by Felipe Anderson. Here comes Lanzini, skips away from Norwood. A brilliant little flick by Felipe Anderson, but then John Egan is in and he clears it away, and West Ham are showing that this game isn't necessarily over yet. They've got a bit of fight in them. Cresswell has it, 10 yards inside the Sheffield United half, and he turns and he rolls it back to Ogbonna, and it's 1-0 to Sheffield United here on 5 Live. Cresswell to Masuaku, a little backheel flick into Lanzini. Now Masuaku's away to receive the return, but he balloons the cross. He puts way too much on it, sails over everyone in the penalty area, and actually Zabaleta up from right back is able to keep it in play. Felipe Anderson now, 12 yards outside the penalty area that West Ham attack, playing right to left as we look down here. Crowded house, not quite full, but very, very busy at Bramall Lane as Felipe Anderson gets into the penalty area, pushes in front of Zabaleta. That was all very tight and very intricate, and it runs away from Zabaleta and out for a goal kick.
He's crying out for a bit of movement in front of him. He's got Haller, Lanzini, Zabaleta, and Zabaleta's the only one who makes a bit of movement. And you're looking and you want your creative players. What you need is options, and he's not got them right now. And you're going to have to work hard to create your chances here. They're an organised team. It's even harder when you're 1-0 down.
So a change for Sheffield United, and it's up front as well. David McGoldrick makes way. Another game without scoring for him, but you can see he's such a popular figure with the Sheffield United fans. And on comes Lys Mousset, who is Sheffield United's top scorer this season. 5 Premier League goals for him. Mousset will now partner McBurney up front. The assist for the Sheffield United goal, unselfish from John Fleck, who has made far more assists than any other Sheffield United player over this season and last. Here is Baldock, 10 yards outside the West Ham half, given away cheaply by Lundstrom, won back again by Norwood, and he'll give it into the centre circle for Jack O'Connell. Out to the left wing go Sheffield United, to Enda Stevens. Still plenty of efforts and endeavour from West Ham here as they try to close things down. McBurney started in an offside position, and Ogbonna was relieved to see that flag go up, because I think he fouled McBurney.
He got that all wrong, hadn't he?
Didn't count anyway because he was offside.
The thing with the goal is, going back to the goal, that Balbuena's made the run, but none of the other West Ham players have moved or reacted. So if he had received the ball successfully and turned, the options wouldn't have been there anyway. So all he could have done was knock it long himself. Now, if the Sheffield United players had come and pressed him, he would have given it straight back to David Martin as it is. So the question is, what are you gaining from giving it anyway? And it's a difficult one. And I used to have these arguments all the time. I say, I'm not looking for the pass to you, I'm looking for your pass. And that's the argument I used to have with my defenders, that I couldn't see their pass.
That's the voice of Robert Grieve, former England goalkeeper, watching this game with us here on 5 Live at Bramall Lane. We've played an hour. 1-0 to Sheffield United. Ollie McBurney's goal as West Ham try to get back into it. West Ham 2 points above the relegation zone, and obviously all those other teams will be playing tomorrow and Sunday, so they're still too close for comfort. Can David Moyes inspire his team back into this game, or is he about to suffer defeat for the first time since returning to the job? Throw in to Sheffield United, who've got a habit of closing games out in the second half if they get their noses in front. Basham prepares to take the throw in, no great urgency, sends it over the halfway line, flicked on by McBurney to Lys Mousset, the substitute. He's tackled well by Ogbonna. And now this is Noble. That's a clever ball through the midfield to Felipe Anderson. Rice helps it on to Lanzini. Back to Declan Rice. Out to the left to Masuaku. He's got Haller in the middle. Felipe Anderson got to the ball first. Looked to be a foul to me. Referee was right beside it, said no contact. Play on. Flex sends the ball forward. There's no one up there for Sheffield United. West Ham are going to get it back. Felipe Anderson is waving his arms. I think a bit like Masuaku the first time. He's saying, no, fair cop. I slipped. It wasn't a free kick. I wasn't appealing for it. Play on, says the referee. Good decision, Michael Oliver. This is Zabaleta just over the halfway line for West Ham. On to the very busy Felipe Anderson. Set to retreat back towards the halfway line here though, and Zabaleta to Balbuena. Noble has dropped in between the two central defenders. Passes to his left hand side to Ogbonna, who with long strides now comes surging into the Sheffield United half. Sheffield United lead West Ham by a goal to nil. Chris Wilder's side on their way back into the Premier League's top 5 as it stands. Ogbonna sends a ball towards the edge of the Sheffield United penalty area. Straight to Jack O'Connell. Sheffield United, they won't play it out of their own half. It's a throw into West Ham, which Cresswell wastes no time in taking quick to Masuaku, and Sheffield United trying to get settled. Ball into Haller, lays it off to Lanzini. This is good stuff. Felipe Anderson waits for the arrival of Zabaleta outside him on the right. Cuts it back again to Noble. Corner angle of the penalty area, right hand side. Tries to cross it in, deflected away. Good defending. Sheffield United will get a chance to clear now and maybe counter-attack. Mousse's away. Good ball to find him. Ogbonna's the only defender who'll catch him. Mousse tries a trick, nearly doesn't come off. Now the support arrives. Lundstrom on the D, out to Baldock, and it's a good recovering tackle by Cresswell, and the game is good now because West Ham are attacking, and a good counter-attack from Sheffield United.
Yeah, West Ham at full stretch there just to keep it out. A saving tackle from Cresswell. Good run from Mousse. Tried to do a skill on the edge of the box, didn't quite get it right. Squared it, a clever ball which exposed most of the West Ham defence. Laid it out to Baldock, and Cresswell just tracking back 6 yards out. Great block, but you know, those are the risks that West Ham are going to have to take at times.
Sheffield United looking for the second goal that could kill this game off in their favour. As it is, Chris Wilder's side lead 1-0. John Fleck takes the corner, right hand side as they come forward. Hit the head of Lundstrom, but it's only hit the back of his head, and it goes wide, and a goal kick to West Ham, who have still got 26 minutes plus the stoppages to go here at Bramall Lane, as so many Sheffield United fans who had jumped up in excitement there with that attack slowly flip down their red plastic seats and take a seat once again. David Martin, the West Ham goalkeeper, clears it high up the halfway line. It'll be interesting to see how serious or otherwise that injury to Fabianski is. At least Mousse is tackled by Ogbonna. McBurney jumps and wins a flick on. Mousse wins it in the air. Ogbonna acrobatically half volleys it away, but it comes straight back at the West Ham defence. Cresswell will rise as well. Haller with a flick on the halfway line. Now Lanzini will run, but head start for John Egan, who gets there comfortably ahead of him and plays it almost casually back to goalkeeper Dean Henderson, who then clears it straight down the middle, looking for McBurney. There's a bit of head tennis at the moment around the halfway line. Baldock gets it down on the deck, scoops it on, looking for a run of Mousse. Good defending by Balbuena to get there first, and West Ham will play their way out of trouble. There's a real zip to the game now. The passes are flashing around in the midfield as Zabaleta comes over the halfway line on the right hand side. If you're just joining our coverage here, Ollie McBurney's goal, early stages of the second half, has Sheffield United in front. Mistake by goalkeeper David Martin in the build-up. This is Masuaku on the left-hand side for West Ham, wearing their change kit of all navy as they look for a way back into the game. 2 wins out of 2 for David Moyes so far. Is this to be where he experiences defeat for the first time since returning to West Ham? McBurney jumps with Rice. Both of them miss the ball. Comes down for Mousse inside the centre circle. And then Ollie Norwood, realising it's all very congested, says, let's take the fizz out of this. And from the halfway line, he rolls it all the way back to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, take the sting out of the game. I don't think Sheffield United need to be chasing this in any way, shape or form now. You know, they've got the strengths. They play the ball long. They're looking for the runners, and if they continue doing that, they'll continue moving up the pitch and causing problems for West Ham.
Sheffield United, who hadn't scored in their last 2 league games, and now they've got the goal. McBurney, as Lanzini here challenges Lundstrom, and it goes out for a throw into Sheffield United right wing as they come forward. Baldock is having a fine season, the former MK Dons player. He prepares to take the throw in around about 15 yards away from the corner flag that his team are attacking down the right hand side. No urgency from Baldock as he waits for one of his teammates to get into position. Throws it short for Lundstrom. That's That's giving possession away very cheaply as Masuaku clears. Egan gets it back for Sheffield United and into space for O'Connell in the centre circle. On into the West Ham half now to Fleck. And then Enda Stevens cuts in off the left wing. And they get it forward to Mousse, but in sweeps Balbuena. And his clearance for West Ham is straight back to Sheffield United again. Poor cross in though from the left-hand side for O'Connell. And that's easy for David Martin to gather. Clock ticks on. We have a quarter of the game remaining.
I mean, we're still, other than obviously the goal, we're still waiting for another shot. I mean, he just showed that the quality there. I mean, he's trying to do the right things, trying to thread that ball through, trying to look for balls for players making runs. But again, it's just that quality that has been sort of lacking in both teams, really.
Robert Snodgrass is preparing to come on for West Ham. Played at Gillingham last weekend in the FA Cup. Scored against Crystal Palace on Boxing Day. Interested to see who goes off to allow him on. Cresswell sort of shirked out of a challenge there with Norwood. Loose ball falls for Rice anyway. Now this is Noble near the centre circle. Can he inspire his West Ham teammates back into this game? Just the one goal between them. Foul by Egan on Haller. Free kick to West Ham inside the Sheffield United half. And here comes the change. And it will be Masuaku who's coming off. So that's an attacking move. Snodgrass more attackingly minded by Masuaku. He's had a decent game on the left-hand side without ever actually delivering that killer ball.
No, he's done well. Started really brightly, had a lot of space, had a few options, got ignored for the first 5-10 minutes when he had the most space. But you know, I think just energy-wise, that wing-back role is so hard. You've got to use up so much, take up so much ground, covering up and down. You're doing two jobs effectively, the winger and the fullback. And you know, I'm glad I was a goalkeeper because I wouldn't have wanted to do that one.
Right, West Ham have not had an attempt at goal in this second half. We're in the 69th minute. Let's see what Snodgrass can do. Expert over the dead ball situation. This is too far out to shoot, but it's a platform he can deliver. Oh, that's a good ball into the penalty area. It's an equaliser, but no. Flag is raised on the far side. Sebastian Haller thought he had scored. That Sheffield United defence stood rigid. They did not retreat as West Ham ran forward, and Haller was caught offside.
Yeah, we were talking about that aggressive line in the first half, and yeah, replay showing he's just a body width of offside, isn't he? And no, I say a well-timed run. It's not because he's offside, but it's a tight one, isn't it?
Tight margins.
Yeah, and I think it's one of them ones that a yard, and he would have been onside. I think Sheffield United dicing with it there.
Right, well, it was a good delivery from Snodgrass, and maybe important to what he can deliver in these closing stages. We've got 20 minutes to play. Mo Bezic has come on for Sheffield United. He'll replace John Lundstrom in the midfield. Sheffield United leading West Ham by 1-0. That goal scored by McBurney in this second half. Throw in to the home side. No urgency from Baldock now as he walks slowly to gather it. Further action in around the Sheffield United technical area. Other substitutes going back to sit down. Baldock takes the throw short to Bezic, another with a former Everton connection. Played forward by Norwood. McBurney will chase after it. Cresswell will want to shield this out, and he just about manages to do so. Difficult against a player like McBurney, who's all arms and legs, but so as Cresswell, the ball had got out of play, he passed it to David Martin to take the goal kick, and Martin kind of just miscontrolled it, and of course the Sheffield United fans go way, hoping that he's got another clanger in him tonight. Oh dear. Well, you say you'd rather be a goalkeeper, Rob. Maybe not at times like that.
Wow, I tell you what, I'll make the odd mistake, but I don't have to run 15k a game or whatever it is that the wing backs do. Yeah.
But you do get to be closer to the crowd, so you probably hear the stick a bit more than other players. Yeah. Right, free kick to West Ham. Let's see what Snodgrass can be as dangerous this time. Similar position actually, a little bit further out. As Sheffield United bring everyone back behind the ball. 19 minutes to play. Snodgrass gets ready to send it in. Similar trajectory. This time the defence called for it. Might have come off an arm of McBurney there. It's going to be a free kick for a push. McBurney was pushed. That's why it hit his arm. Free kick for Sheffield United. No danger there.
No, last man with McBurney. Pushed him initially before the free kick was taken, looking to make a run, and McBurney did quite well, blocked his run. And then as they came in together, he's at the far post, and he's just, I think he's out of frustration, just trying to get him out of the way, and McBurney said, thank you very much, I'll take that, and fell over.
30,124 the attendance at Bramall Lane tonight, just short of capacity. As Dean Henderson clears it up over the halfway line. McBurney jumps with Snodgrass. West Ham get it back. Haller allowed the ball to bounce. Connell tries to come across. It's fallen nicely for Haller here. He's just outside the penalty area. Quick feet as well. Buys a bit of time for Zabaleta, who cuts back onto his left foot. Sends in a cross, headed away by John Egan. Straight to Declan Rice. Here comes Cresswell on the left-hand side for West Ham. The cross was behind Haller. That was unfortunate. Sheffield United will get it away. Bezic just in front of Declan Rice, keeps his composure, plays a little 1-2. That's well worked by Sheffield United as they break out of their own half. Norwood onto McBurney. West Ham haul their tired legs back into their own half again. Crossfield ball by Norwood encourages Enda Stevens to come forward. He's midway inside the West Ham half. Low to the feet of John Fleck. Back into midfield to Bezic. Back to the near side again to Chris Basham. And Sheffield United have just got to be smart now. They've got to hold the ball. They've got to frustrate West Ham. Obviously a second goal would probably wrap it up, but even at 1-0 they can feel in control of things here as Baldock gets there ahead of Cresswell, sets off towards the corner flag to protect possession, then tries to do a 1-2 at Basham, and that's not executed properly. West Ham regain the ball, and Snodgrass with a poor pass gives it away again cheaply. So Sheffield United come again. Fleck. McBurney leaves it for Mousse. Brilliant dummy. Great save, David Martin. 1-on-1. The goalkeeper saved with his legs. That makes some amends for the mistake earlier on for the McBurney goal. Here comes Sheffield United again. Baldock runs along the edge of the penalty area. Back out to Bezic on the right hand side. Hits it with his left. Bounces in front of David Martin. Saves it into his stomach. Now that was a good save for the West Ham keeper.
Big save. Stood up strong. Ball into McBurney. Fantastic dummy. Just left Mousse open in front of goal on the right hand side. Took a touch out of his feet. Looked up. David Martin stood up strong. It was not the most powerful shot, managed to get a leg to it and clear it wide, and you see Chris Wilder head in hands, 15 minutes to go. You'd think that would be close to game over.
Yeah, that could have shut the door on West Ham tonight. But at 1-0 down, David Moyes' team are still in this, 2 points above the relegation zone. Norwood, 5 yards inside the West Ham half, sends another one of these crossfield balls, lands exactly where it wanted at the step of Baldock. Now the cross comes in. Mousse couldn't get up off the ground to head it. Declan Rice will intercept for West Ham and comes away with possession and feeds it on to Felipe Anderson, who does well to keep it in play on the right hand side. Comes back in field to Fleck. Good tracking back by Fleck, who fouls him, but the referee says play on. And a chance to cross from the right hand side, and the ball delivered in from Rice was not a good cross. And now Sheffield United with the chance to counter-attack. McBurney onto Mousse, into the penalty area, goes around Ogbonna to the byline. Now he's got to try and cut it back. Left-hand side as Sheffield United come forward. Bezic is screaming for it in the middle. Comes back to Mousse. That's a clever little turn, and then it's too intricate as he tried to slip it to McBurney. It's cleared away by Balbuena. And Mousse, well, he had a few chances there. He didn't really make the best of them. Down the other end we go. 5 live from the BBC. 1-0 Sheffield United. West Ham, though, battling to try and get back in. Felipe Anderson hacks down on the edge of the penalty area. That's a definite free kick. And this one might even be within the distance to have a pop at goal. It's only a few paces outside the penalty area.
Yeah, end-to-end stuff for a few minutes there, and game's really opened up. I think Mousse did so well out on the left, held it up, waited for the support, gave a good ball, got it back, clever play, and then the bit where he just needed that bit of composure to play the right pass at the right time, then it deserted him. West Ham now, it's a really good opportunity this. I mean, 25 yards out?
Might suit a right-footed player more than the left-footed Snodgrass.
Lanzini and Anderson looking keen, aren't they?
They're having a little discussion about it. West Ham, who have had so few attacking moments, particularly in this second half, can they make this set-piece opportunity count? 14 minutes to play. Referee has got the spray out, making sure the Sheffield United wall is lined up the required distance. They're about 3-4 paces inside the penalty area, just to give you an idea. Lanzini's looking the most determined here. There's all sorts of talking behind, hands up to mouths going on, little discussion taking place among several West Ham players. Here is Lanzini, hits it well. I think it came off the post, did it? Henderson saved it. might have come off the woodwork. In any event, it stays out.
Could save that, I think. Oh, Sheffield United on the break.
Good ball forward by Enda Stevens to pick out Mousse. 1-on-1. Cresswell's the defender guarding the edge of the penalty area. Mousse tries to fire it, toe poke, and it goes well wide of the target. High and wide and not so handsome. And the end-to-end nature of the second half continues.
Yeah, Lanzini with the free kick. He hits it over the wall, and Dean Henderson a running, sprawling save, and he didn't quite get the height on it and nor the pace that allowed him the time to get across the goal. It's a great save, but actually you look at it again and he's almost dived past it. It's one that he knows where it's going. He's getting across there, and he's done really well, used his feet well to make the save more comfortable than it probably was.
Henderson hoping he's on the way to his 8th clean sheet in the Premier League this season. McBurney there thought sort of lashed out an arm at Haller, but play on, says the referee, didn't spot that. This is Baldock, plays it off Snodgrass, all a bit scrappy here around the centre, the halfway line. Ball played forward by Chris Basham, away by Ogbonna, but this has been a worry for West Ham. When they get the ball at the back, they're not finding teammates in midfield. They're struggling to retain the ball when they clear it away. Fleck onto Mousse, but it's just fractionally behind him. It's a back pass to David Martin. Mousse didn't charge it, so he's shouted at by all the Sheffield United fans. West Ham do get it away. Sheffield United, they'll regain possession on the halfway line with Enda Stevens. So the clock ticks on. Can West Ham get an equaliser for David Moyes? Will 1-0 be enough for Sheffield United? This is the start of a busy weekend of Premier League football, and 5 Live tomorrow. Manchester United against Norwich is our pick of the 3 o'clock games for commentary. Here is Fleck just outside the D of the West Ham penalty area. Enda Stevens arrived. Oh, they all backed off him and he tried to toe poke it in forward. Comes off Balbuena. Corner to Sheffield United.
Yeah, Sheffield United, they're able to pick up the second balls because West Ham are that a little bit more stretched now, and you're looking at it, and because they're more stretched, they'll be able to also pick holes in between the midfield and the defence, and it allows the Sheffield United players like McBurney to step into that gap, turn and play off the balls, and just creating that little bit of space that hasn't been there in the previous 75 minutes.
Corner to Sheffield United. Ollie Norwood has gone across to take it, right-footed, in swinging from the far side, headed away by the first defender, who was Snodgrass. The second ball comes back in, it lands comfortably into the arms of David Martin. If you're just tuning away on 5 Live, Martin's poor goal kick led to the goal that separates the teams. John Fleck pounced on it, laid it square for McBurney. Not the cleanest strike of his career, but it got over the line, that's all that matters. Sheffield United leading by a 0-0. Poor ball by Declan Rice. And his body language after it, he's done the old, well, the reason it's a poor ball is because Zabaleta, you should have been there. It's not that it's a bad pass, it's that your movement wasn't good.
It was a wave out of desperation, wasn't it, Blimey? I mean, yeah, Zabaleta wasn't running there. He just wasn't. He was stood in space, he was standing still.
Zabaleta turns 35 this month,
yes,
and we're
80 minutes in, he's not
he's
running
not running
there.
after that, no. It is a throw-in for West Ham. And there's all kinds of discussion as to which way this throw is. Zabaleta thought it was a West Ham throw. Michael Oliver comes across and says no, it is a Sheffield United throw.
That's old schoolboy one where it never goes in play.
Yeah, running down the clock even further. Here is Haller, little volleyed back heel trying to pick out Lanzini. West Ham are still plugging away here, and they haven't allowed their heads to drop. They're still trying. Noble though, miscues. If anything, you'd probably say they're trying a bit too hard, West Ham. That's the errors have been made with what should be simple passes, and they're maybe pushing it a little bit more. Basham, that's a good ball. Up to Mousse, fouled surely by Ogbonna on the half. Well, Michael Oliver's beside that. I'm really surprised he didn't give a free kick there. Here's Lanzini. West Ham have it. Forward to Haller. Can West Ham get the equaliser? Haller can't control it. Norwood gets it back for Sheffield United. He's got Enda Stevens, who sells a lovely dummy to Zabaleta and comes over the halfway line here. Low ball to McBurney. McBurney turns back in field of Noble. He's got Fleck with them on the left-hand side. Up from defence comes Jack O'Connell on the left wing. And West Ham have to fall back into defensive formation once again. 9 minutes of normal time to go. McBurney. Tackled. Felipe Anderson gets it back and sends a decent ball over the top, but good defending by Basham. If he missed that, Haller would have been in, but he leapt in the air and he won his header, and Sheffield United get it back once again. They lead 1-0.
Yeah, Sheffield United is still pressing here. You'd have thought 10 minutes to go, maybe getting a bit nervous. Not 1 in 4, is it? I think, and you're saying, well, you know, they're just going to keep doing what they're doing. They keep going forwards. They had 2 at the back there against 1. We just keep doing what we do, and they're looking comfortable, really.
Yeah, for West Ham. And there's a mistake in the back by Egan. Lanzini's in here into the penalty area. Shoots straight at the goalkeeper. Henderson save. Well, Lanzini was hoping that Henderson would drift across to cover Haller in the middle. He tried to catch the goalkeeper out at his near post. Good goalkeeping, Dean Henderson. Corner.
Yeah, stood up strong there. And where do you want it as a keeper? Straight at your body. And it was, Lanzini looking for an option to pass to and didn't have it, so went for goal. And realistically, shoot across the goal. Get it in the far corner.
It's the biggest scare Sheffield United have had in some time. A little reminder. Snodgrass sends in the corner from the left. Ogbonna wins it down, but gathered into the arms of Dean Henderson, and he holds it close to his chest.
His goalkeeping, good goalkeeping before, good goal in there, alert to the danger, just came to pick it up. But that's where these things happen in football. People slip and fall over, and that's when you need your goalkeeper, and he's done that twice tonight.
Big game for West Ham. Next weekend they host Everton, and then a tricky visit to Leicester the following midweek. West Ham also into the FA Cup 4th round. They will play West Brom in the next round. As Baldock prepares to take a throw-in right wing-back position for Sheffield United, who are on the verge of a return to winning ways after drawing with Watford, after being beaten by Manchester City and beaten by Liverpool. And Chris Wilder, on the day that he signed his new contract, he is now just minutes away from another victory, another 3 points, and this remarkable season that Sheffield United are having looks set to continue. Late change here. Both teams making substitutions. Pablo Fornals, who scored off the bench last weekend at Gillingham in the FA Cup, he comes on. And this will be a popular one. Ollie McBurney gets cheered off, the goal scorer. And Billy Sharp, the man who comes on to replace him. So, Sharp on for McBurney. And Fornals on for Lanzini.
Yeah, 2 live swaps really, and I think just another fresh pair of legs for Sheffield United, just for some more running in behind the West Ham defence. And Billy Sharp comes on, shouts at Moussa straight away, go on, run behind.
Here he is, first touch for Billy Sharp since coming on, a header which accurately picks out Lys Moussa. And then Bezic sort of stumbled as he tried to play it forward, so possession is given away cheaply. West Ham 1-0 down here and battling for a late equaliser as Bezic, who had made the mistake, battles gamely to win it back again, and he slides in on Felipe Anderson, and that goes out for a throw into West Ham on the left-hand side. So this is Felipe Anderson back to Declan Rice on the halfway line. David Moyes has stepped outside the technical area right to the edge of the pitch and trying to get instructions on to Snodgrass, I think he was talking to there. Have West Ham one last trick left up their sleeve? Cresswell forward to Felipe Anderson, and he's instantly tackled, and Sheffield United get it back again. And here is Billy Sharp, 2-on-2, rolls it in front of Lys Moussa. Good acceleration to get there ahead of Balbuena, just outside the penalty area, right hand side as Sheffield United come forward, and nothing fancy from Moussa here as he drifts over to the corner flag, and he just waits for the challenge to come in from Balbuena, and that will be a throw-in to Sheffield United down the right hand side. This is all eating into the clock.
Yeah, good play by Moussa, just killing the clock, doing what they've been doing, and again, still looking comfortable here, Sheffield United.
Here is Norwood crossing from the right hand side, couldn't get under it, low daisy cutter which is easily cleared away. West Ham fans thought that Haller handled it there. Referee Michael Oliver points to his shoulder. That's a strong tackle by Bezic, but he has fouled Felipe Anderson. He's going to go in the book. I think that you would call that quite an industrial, almost agricultural challenge. That was just right the way through the Brazilian free kick to West Ham.
Yeah, he was making sure that Anderson wasn't getting anywhere, was he? That was, if I'm not going to win the ball, he's not going anywhere. But a robust challenge, shall we say. But Fornals had made the run on the far side and was in. He was free, and Anderson just didn't see him. And so, we said it in the first half with Musaku, the spaces, the opportunities were there, and West Ham players just not seeing them. And again, that one, and Anderson's paying the price now in more than one way.
Well, we're not missing any action. Felipe Anderson is receiving some treatment down there. News tonight on 5 Live. Pepe Reina has signed for Aston Villa. Been in need of a goalkeeper after the injury to Tom Heaton. Tomorrow's 5 Live Sport from 12 at Mark Chapman features commentary of Manchester United against Norwich with Ian Dennis and Pat Nevin. On Sunday, we've got 2 Premier League commentaries for you. Steve Crossman presenting Bournemouth against Watford is at 2 o'clock with Ali Bruce Ball and Karen Carney. And then from 4:30, Aston Villa against Manchester City. Correspondent John Murray will be with Leon Osman. And building up to next weekend, where 5 Live and BBC Sounds will bring you coverage of Conor McGregor's return to UFC. There's podcasts available daily from Wednesday, building up to that fight in Las Vegas. But here, the clock is running down fast on West Ham. 2 wins out of 2 for David Moyes since taking the job 11 days ago. But they're 1-0 down here with 3 minutes to play at Bramall Lane. Felipe Anderson has had to leave the pitch for treatment. David Moyes patting him on the back and says, "Get it back on there, son." Here is the delivery by Snodgrass. Free header on the back post. Haller couldn't keep it down. Bounces down into the ground and over the crossbar. Huge chance for West Ham laid on.
Well, the warning signs were there with the disallowed goal, free kick, but this was further out, and Haller made a clever run, arcing run round the back of the Sheffield United defence, and he had all the time in the world. He could watch it all the way onto his head, and rather he's just trying to plant it in the far corner, and planted it into the turf about 2 yards in front of him. It looped harmlessly over the bar, and realistically, in open play, West Ham haven't created an awful lot at all. Set pieces have been the best option, and that's probably been the best chance out of the lot.
Well, that really was an opportunity so late in the game. Sheffield United would have been distraught to give up their lead this late on, but Haller with a more steady header there. He had the goal at his mercy. He somehow managed to head it down into the turf and up over the crossbar from a very close range. Here is Bezic for Sheffield United. They've just got to keep ball now. 2 minutes to go, plus the stoppages. Felipe Anderson is back on the pitch, but he's hobbling a little bit. As Enda Stevens plays it forward for Sheffield United to Billy Sharp, all fresh legs in the left wing. Dealt with well though by Zabaleta. Wins it back for West Ham, and then as Balbuena tries to clear away, it's headed out of play by John Fleck. A throw into West Ham. They are pinned back in their own half for now. McBurney's goal 8 minutes into the second half separates the teams. Is it going to be enough to see Sheffield United move above Wolves and above Tottenham and above Manchester United into the top 5 of the Premier League? Again, frustrations here for West Ham as every trick in the book has come out here to delay things. David Martin, the goalkeeper, the latest to come out of his penalty area to take his free kick midway inside his own half. Chris Wilder is blowing a whistle, fingers in his mouth, getting the attention of one of his players down there. Specific instruction of positioning. Header away by John Egan, back into the mix by Zabaleta, and then it's hoofed away. Old-fashioned up and under by Chris Basham to send the ball long into the West Ham half, but it's returned by Balbuena. Groans from the Sheffield United fans as the ball skips between 2 of their players. Declan Rice picks it up for West Ham, tries a little surge towards the edge of the penalty area, crosses, left-footed, headed away by Basham. Sharp should be able to clean it up here, and he does. Nice header back to Enda Stevens, who clears it away, puts the laces through it up over the halfway line where Mousse jumps in the air and tries to hold it. In comes Mark Noble, who slipped. Play on, says the referee, and this is Sharp on the halfway line. Sheffield United are almost there. 10 seconds of normal time to go. Can they hold on for the win here? This is Fleck just inside the West Ham half. Noble battling to try and win it back again. Strong though from John Egan as he comes forward into Bezic. 3 minutes to be added on. Baldock has got a bit of space on the right hand side, creeps into the West Ham penalty area, takes it to the byline, tries to pull it back. Thought it might have gone out of play there, but the referee says play on, and Igbona clears away for West Ham. Terrible touch by Haller. He's put Sheffield United back into attack as Stevens gives it to the left hand side. This isn't over yet. We are into the 3 minutes of stoppages, 1 goal between them. West Ham need to get the ball though. Fleck has it, and he doesn't want that to happen, so he turns and plays a very safe pass back to Jack O'Connell, and now into the middle to John Egan, and nobody's heading for the exits early here as it goes back to the goalkeeper Dean Henderson, and Sheffield United are almost there, Robert Green.
Yeah, they're very, very comfortable now. I mean, you're looking at it and say, well, in open play. We're saying West Ham have created so little, and they're running out of ideas fast. They're running out of belief now, and realistically, other than a free kick that you could see that Snodgrass can put in, maybe win a free kick, they're not even throwing bodies forward now. They're just trying to get hold of the ball and get some sort of forward movement going.
Yeah, Aston Villa and Bournemouth, the two clubs immediately below West Ham. Any fans of theirs listening in tonight will be pleased to hear David Moyes side of behind. Here comes Declan Rice though. Maybe one last surge into the penalty area for Snodgrass. It's in the post and it's in! It squirts in off Robert Snodgrass, and incredibly, West Ham have stolen a point right at the death. David Moyes has run onto the pitch. He's punching the air in celebration. Some West Ham fans are over the barriers trying to join in themselves. Oh, I don't know if we saw that coming, but it has come with aplomb. Snodgrass beats Henderson at his near post. It just squeezed in off the post. Talk about late drama at Bramall Lane. It's 1-1.
It came from nothing. I mean, Zabaleta just punting the ball up in the air. It bounced down. One challenge, two challenges. Just Declan Rice, a determination. He's been frustrated for the last 20 minutes. I think, he's waving his arms around after that poor pass, but that was just pure frustration that got him the ball. Took on two players and squared it off to Snodgrass, who, on the angle, on his weaker foot, has hit a shot that is past Dean Henderson at his near post, who's full stretch. You're thinking, can he save it? We're looking at VAR now. It's come up.
VAR are checking to see, was there a handball in the build-up? As Declan Rice surged forward, he won a collision with John Egan. Now replays are suggesting the ball has struck his arm in doing so. Was it deliberate? Will that count? It's the build-up to a goal.
Yeah.
You can't have accidental handball in the build-up to a goal. Now, mind you, it was quite a way back. The goal doesn't stand! And a huge celebration from Sheffield United fans, because suddenly what was looking a draw is back to being a win for them again. And if you think VAR takes the emotion out of things, look at the emotion here as Sheffield United fans are on their feet and celebrating, and suddenly it's 1-0 to them again. David Moyes has gone pale. He looks like he's seen a ghost. He was on the pitch. He was celebrating. It is not a goal. Declan Rice has just seen the replay on the big screen, and to be honest, he can't complain. It hits his hand. There's no such thing as accidental handball in the build-up to a goal anymore. It's a free kick to Sheffield United. What late drama, Robert Green.
Wow. I mean, it's incredible, isn't it? Saying and taking the emotion out of the game here. That was the most celebrated moment of the game then. How it's... Whether you agree...
A West Ham fan has thrown a seat onto the pitch. A red plastic seat has been thrown on, which Henderson went back to take off again, and of course this all plays into Sheffield United's hands. They want to run down the clock now anyway. West Ham will be heartbroken. They thought they had earned a point. Yeah,
I mean, whether you agree with the rule or not, it's there, and it hits him on the arm. So VAR stood up to the task there in a literal sense. It was it got asked a question, it brought it back. There was a handball. Whether you agree with that or the way the new rule is, I don't know, but there was a handball in there, and VAR did show it.
For every West Ham fan who won't be happy with the rules on this occasion, well, there'll be several Sheffield United fans who are absolutely delighted with it. Those are the breaks. These are the tiny margins, Robert Green. That point could be the difference end of the season between West Ham staying up or being relegated, and they thought they had it.
It's huge in the season, huge moment in the game. You think the effort, just the sheer industry of both sides have put it on here.
Play continues as Sharp, Robert, gives it on to Stevens on the far side.
It's been a tough fought game for the whole 90 minutes, and both teams have put everything in, and the bottom line is
it's all over. Sheffield United win again in the Premier League. They move into the top 5. They were given an almighty scare though right at the end. Robert Snodgrass thought he had equalised in the 3rd minute of stoppage time, ruled out by VAR. The protests from West Ham players are continuing as they swarm around Michael Oliver, but it's a goal by Ollie McBurney 8 minutes into that second half that have secured the win for Sheffield United, who are back to winning ways.
Yeah, two talking points, the goal and the goal that wasn't. I mean, it's after it's such a tight game to be decided by a mistake and a VAR decision, it's a tough one for the West Ham fans, for the West Ham players, but I think they'll live and fight another day this season. Sheffield United, the story just keeps on going.
David Moyes' first defeat back at West Ham, a first win in 4 league games for Sheffield United, and Chris Wilder's side are back in the Premier League's top 5. It finishes Sheffield United 1, West Ham 0.